I was eating alone in the wilderness, until a mysterious alien murmured, "May I join you?" Eli sat on a large, flat rock near the edge of a gentle stream. The air smelled of pine and damp earth. Sunlight filtered through the tall trees, painting golden patterns on the ground. It was quiet here, almost too quiet, and yet the silence felt comforting. He unwrapped the small meal he had carried, a simple combination of bread, dried fruit, and a small piece of cheese. He had eaten alone many times before, but this time it felt different. There was a strange sense that the forest was not just around him, but watching him, waiting. He tore a piece of bread and chewed slowly, enjoying the taste, the warmth of the sun, and the soft murmur of the stream. Eli had always loved these moments. Life in the city was busy, noisy, and full of constant movement. Here in the wilderness, everything seemed to slow down. Even his thoughts moved at a calmer pace. He could focus on the small things, the flutter of a bird's wings, the way the wind made the leaves dance, the reflection of light on water. As he ate, he thought about how small humans were compared to the vastness of the universe. He had spent his life reading about stars, planets, and civilizations far beyond Earth. People often said he was dreaming too much, thinking about what could be rather than what was. But in moments like this, he felt connected to something larger, something beyond his own understanding. He felt alive. A soft breeze passed through the trees, carrying with it a scent he could not name. It was faint, sweet, and unfamiliar. Eli looked up from his meal, scanning the forest around him. Nothing moved, nothing stirred, and yet he had the odd sensation that he was not completely alone. His eyes traced the shadows of the trees, the glimmering of the stream, the distant hills rising and falling like the waves of the sea. Then he heard it, a voice, soft and almost musical, barely louder than a whisper, yet clear in the stillness. "May I join you?" Eli froze. He turned his head quickly, looking in every direction, but saw no one. The words had come from nowhere, or perhaps from everywhere. His heart raced, a mix of fear and curiosity. Who would speak to him here? The forest was supposed to be empty. He had seen no one for hours. "Hello," he said, his voice low. "Who's there?" There was no answer, only the gentle rustle of leaves. Then a shimmer appeared near the edge of the trees, almost like a ripple in the air. Eli squinted. A figure emerged, small and delicate, glowing faintly with soft colors that seemed to shift and move like liquid light. It was humanoid in shape, but unlike any human he had ever seen. Its eyes were large and reflective, full of intelligence and curiosity, and its movements were graceful, almost as if it floated rather than walked. Eli's fear began to fade, replaced by wonder. He had dreamed of meeting beings from beyond Earth, and now here one was, standing before him, silent but not threatening. He held up a hand, unsure what to do. The figure tilted its head slightly, mimicking his gesture, a simple and gentle acknowledgement. "Okay," Eli said cautiously. "You can sit, I guess." The alien moved closer, stopping a few feet away. It lowered itself to the ground, crossing limbs in a way that seemed natural for it. Eli watched, fascinated, as it looked at the meal he had spread before him. Its gaze lingered on the bread, then on the cheese, but it made no move to take anything. Instead, it seemed curious, like it was learning about him through observation. Eli tore another piece of bread and held it out. The alien watched, then shook its head gently. Eli smiled, realizing it did not eat the same way humans did. "Right," he said, "you don't eat like us." He sat back, letting the silence stretch, though it no longer felt empty. The alien made soft noises, musical and melodic like a song without words. Eli listened, mesmerized. He felt a strange connection forming, a bond that did not need speech. He had always thought friendship required words, but perhaps understanding could exist in silence, in gestures, in shared presence. The alien shifted slightly, reaching out a hand toward the small stream. Water droplets hovered in the air as it manipulated them with delicate gestures. Eli blinked. The alien's abilities were unlike anything he had imagined. The water sparkled in the sunlight, forming tiny shapes before returning to the stream. Eli laughed softly, enchanted by the display. "You're amazing," he said. The alien made a sound that felt like laughter in response, a high musical trill. Eli realized that whatever this being was, it was intelligent, curious, and perhaps even playful. He felt a warmth spread through him, a feeling of joy at encountering something so extraordinary. Hours passed as they sat together. Eli shared stories about Earth, about the forests, the rivers, the mountains, and the skies. The alien listened, responding with gestures, glowing patterns, and musical notes. Eli learned quickly that they could communicate, even without words, by observing and imitating. The alien seemed to understand not just his actions, but his emotions, his thoughts, and even the pauses between words. Eli told it about humans' fascination with space, their desire to explore and understand what lay beyond their world. He explained how people sometimes feared the unknown, yet also dreamed of discovery. The alien responded with a shimmer of light, and Eli felt it understood deeply. There was no judgment in its gaze, only recognition and curiosity. As the sun began to lower toward the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Eli felt a sense of calm he had never experienced before. He realized that this encounter was more than chance. Perhaps the universe had brought him here for this moment, to meet a being that would teach him about patience, understanding, and the simple joy of connection. The alien made a soft sound and pointed toward the setting sun, then back at Eli. He nodded, understanding its meaning. Together they watched as the day ended, the forest glowing in the twilight. For the first time in a long while, Eli felt truly at peace. He was alone, yet not lonely. He was with someone who did not share his language or his species, yet understood him better than anyone else ever had. Night fell, and the stars began to appear. Eli pointed to the constellations he knew, and the alien's glowing patterns mirrored them, creating a beautiful dance of light in the darkness. The forest seemed alive with their shared presence. Eli felt small under the vast sky, yet connected to everything around him. The alien had shown him that the universe was not only wide and full of wonders, but also full of opportunities for friendship and understanding. Eventually, Eli lay back on the rock, looking up at the stars, the alien resting nearby. He felt a quiet excitement, knowing that this was only the beginning. He did not know where this friendship would lead or what mysteries the alien would reveal, but he was ready to learn. The forest, the wilderness, the universe itself felt alive with possibility. And for the first time in his life, eating alone did not feel lonely. The next morning, Eli woke to the soft hum of the forest. Sunlight filtered through the leaves in golden streams, and the air smelled fresh and cool. The alien was already awake, sitting near the stream, its body shimmering gently in the morning light. Eli watched quietly for a moment, fascinated by the subtle movements of the being. It was studying the water, tracing patterns with its glowing fingers, and occasionally glancing toward him as if to say, "Good morning." Eli smiled and stretched. He picked up some bread and cheese from his pack and carried it over to the alien. "I thought you might like breakfast," he said, placing the food on a flat rock. The alien tilted its head and made a soft trill, but it did not move toward the food. Eli laughed softly. "Right, you don't eat like us, I keep forgetting." Instead, the alien began to mimic his movements, reaching for a piece of bread and holding it in a gesture similar to his. Then it tilted the bread toward him and released it gently. Eli caught it instinctively. The alien repeated the gesture, and Eli realized it was trying to play a simple game, a form of interaction. He laughed, enjoying the strange but charming exchange. After a while, they settled near the stream. Eli began to talk, describing the forest, the mountains, and the sky. He pointed to birds in the trees, to the flowing water, and to patterns in the clouds. The alien watched closely, its eyes wide with curiosity, and responded by tracing shapes in the air with glowing lines from its fingers. Each pattern seemed to correspond to the object Eli described. He realized the alien was trying to communicate, to show understanding in its own way. "I think you like learning," Eli said. The alien made a high musical trill, nodding slowly. Eli's heart warmed. He had never met anyone, or anything, so eager to observe and understand. The alien's curiosity mirrored his own, and he felt a connection deeper than words. They spent the morning exploring nearby streams and clearings. Eli showed the alien how to skip stones across the water. The alien watched carefully, then tried itself. The stones skipped in strange, unpredictable patterns, and Eli laughed with delight. "Not bad," he said. The alien made a sound that Eli interpreted as laughter in return. It was playful, joyful, and simple, yet full of meaning. As they walked, Eli noticed the alien examining plants and rocks closely. It touched them gently, sometimes sending small glimmers of light across their surfaces. The light highlighted the textures, colors, and shapes in ways Eli had never seen before. "You see things differently," he said, realizing that the alien's perspective revealed details he had always overlooked. Every leaf, every pebble, every drop of water seemed to carry a story. The alien responded by creating a soft glow that flowed from its body, spreading over the leaves and rocks. Eli gasped. The forest seemed to come alive with color and light, and he realized that this being had a deep connection to the natural world. It was as if it could sense the life in every plant, the energy in every stream, and the harmony in every sound. By midday, they had reached a small clearing with soft grass and a few scattered flowers. Eli set down his pack and sat, watching the alien. It moved to a nearby rock and began tracing glowing patterns in the air. Eli leaned closer, fascinated. The patterns twisted and turned, forming shapes that reminded him of constellations, waves, and even the outlines of animals. He realized that the alien was trying to teach him something, to share its way of seeing the world. "I think I understand," he said slowly. "You see everything as connected. Each part of the forest, each drop of water, each ray of light, it's all part of one big story." The alien's glow brightened slightly, confirming his thought. Eli smiled, feeling a profound sense of awe. He had come to the forest to enjoy solitude, but instead, he had found friendship and wonder. They spent the afternoon moving through the forest. Eli showed the alien simple survival skills: how to find edible plants, how to follow animal tracks, and how to move quietly without disturbing the creatures around them. The alien observed carefully, then demonstrated its own abilities. It could sense vibrations in the ground, notice changes in the wind, and even communicate silently through gestures and glowing signals. Eli was amazed. This being was not just intelligent, it was in tune with nature in ways he had never imagined. At one point, Eli found a small pond hidden behind a grove of trees. The water was clear, reflecting the sky like a mirror. He knelt and dipped his hand into it, feeling the coolness. The alien moved closer and did something incredible. It caused tiny ripples of light to dance across the water, forming shapes that resembled fish and water plants. Eli watched, enchanted. "You're an artist," he said, smiling. The alien tilted its head, glowing softly, as if it understood. As the sun began to lower in the sky, Eli realized how much he had learned in just one day. The alien was teaching him to see the world differently, not just as a place to live, but as a living, breathing story full of wonder. He felt grateful and inspired, understanding that knowledge and friendship could come in forms he had never imagined. They returned to the large rock by the stream where they had first met. Eli unpacked some dried fruit and shared a small portion with the alien. It hesitated, then accepted it, showing appreciation through a soft trill and a gentle glow. Eli laughed softly. "I guess we can share in our own ways," he said. The alien responded with a series of glowing shapes, and Eli felt a warm sense of connection. As night approached, the forest transformed. The shadows grew longer, the air cooler, and the sounds of nocturnal creatures filled the space around them. Eli and the alien sat side by side, watching as the stars appeared in the sky. The alien extended its hand, and small points of light rose from its fingers, creating patterns in the air that mirrored the constellations above. Eli marveled at the display. "You're showing me the stars," he said softly. The alien nodded, confirming his thought. Eli realized that the alien had its own way of telling stories, of sharing knowledge, and of connecting. Words were not necessary. They had developed a language of gestures, lights, and shared experiences. He felt a sense of humility and wonder, understanding that the universe was filled with beings capable of intelligence, creativity, and kindness in ways humans might never fully grasp. They spent hours under the stars, communicating silently. Eli pointed out familiar constellations, and the alien responded with glowing patterns that seemed to tell stories of distant worlds, far beyond human reach. He felt a thrill of curiosity and excitement. If one alien could be so extraordinary, how many more wonders might exist in the universe? Eventually, Eli leaned back, feeling tired but content. The alien settled beside him, its glow dimming gently as if preparing to rest. For the first time, Eli felt that the forest, the alien, and the universe were part of a larger interconnected story, one that he was now a part of. He realized that friendship, understanding, and curiosity could exist across any boundary, even between species. He closed his eyes for a moment, letting the sounds of the forest wash over him, the rustling leaves, the flowing water, the distant call of an owl. When he opened them, the alien was still watching him, its presence calm and reassuring. Eli smiled. "Tomorrow," he said softly, "we'll explore more." The alien tilted its head, shimmering slightly, agreeing without words. As they both rested, Eli thought about the day. He had arrived in the forest seeking solitude, yet he had found a companion, a teacher, and a friend. The alien had shown him beauty in unexpected places, wonder in ordinary things, and joy in the simple act of sharing time together. He understood that this friendship was rare and precious, and he vowed to cherish it, to learn from it, and to grow because of it. Night deepened, and the forest was quiet once more. Eli and the alien sat together, watching the stars, listening to the sounds of the world around them. Each felt the presence of the other, a silent acknowledgement that they had discovered something extraordinary. The alien had entered Eli's life unexpectedly, yet it had changed everything. Eli drifted into sleep, comforted by the gentle glow of his companion and the soft hum of the forest. He dreamed of stars, distant worlds, and glowing patterns in the night sky. And when he woke, he knew that this was only the beginning of an adventure that would expand his understanding, his heart, and his place in the universe. For the first time, Eli felt that the wilderness was not just a place to escape. It was a place of learning, of connection, and of wonder. And the alien, so mysterious, so beautiful, and so wise, was the key to seeing it all in a new light. The morning air was crisp, carrying the scent of pine and wet earth. Eli woke to the gentle sound of the stream bubbling nearby. The alien was already awake, sitting quietly on a moss-covered rock, its glowing body shifting softly in the sunlight. Eli stretched and yawned, feeling the calm energy of the forest. Today felt different. There was a sense of anticipation, as if the day itself had secrets to share. He picked up his small pack and approached the alien. "Ready to explore?" he asked. The alien made a melodic trill, rising slightly into the air, almost like a nod. Eli smiled. Their communication had become easier, subtle but meaningful. Words were no longer necessary. Gestures, sounds, and glowing patterns spoke volumes. They walked along the stream, stepping over smooth stones and listening to the gentle rush of water. Eli pointed out different plants, explaining which were edible and which had other uses. The alien watched carefully, touching the leaves and flowers with delicate fingers, sometimes sending small pulses of light across them. Eli was amazed at how it seemed to understand the life within each plant, sensing its energy in ways he could only guess at. After a while, they reached a small hill overlooking the forest. From this vantage point, the canopy stretched like a green sea, dotted with streams of sunlight. Eli sat down and looked at the alien. "Do you ever think about the stars?" he asked. The alien tilted its head, glowing faintly, as if acknowledging the question. Eli pointed to the sky. "Up there, beyond the clouds, there are worlds we can't even imagine, planets with oceans, mountains, forests, maybe even beings like you." The alien's glow brightened, patterns shifting rapidly as if it were trying to show him something. Eli leaned in closer, watching the intricate display. Slowly, he realized the alien was telling stories, stories of distant worlds, civilizations, and the life that thrived there. He could not understand every detail, but he felt the meaning. Life, no matter where it exists, is connected by curiosity, wonder, and the desire to grow. He watched as the alien's lights painted images of strange plants, glowing rivers, and sky creatures that soared in patterns beyond human imagination. Eli felt a deep sense of awe. "You've seen so much," he whispered. The alien responded with a soft trill and a wave of shimmering light that danced across the rocks and grass. For a moment, it felt as if the forest itself had joined their conversation, alive with glowing patterns and gentle hums. They began to descend the hill, following a narrow path through the trees. Eli showed the alien how to move quietly through the underbrush, stepping lightly to avoid disturbing animals. The alien copied him with precision, sometimes adding movements he had never thought of, bending in ways that let it glide over fallen branches or touch the ground without making a sound. Eli laughed softly. "You're better at this than I am," he admitted. As they walked, Eli noticed the alien pausing frequently to touch stones, leaves, and even the wind itself. Each touch caused tiny ripples of light or faint musical notes, as if the alien was reading the forest's hidden rhythms. Eli realized that it understood the environment on a level far beyond his own senses. He felt humbled and inspired. Eventually, they reached a small cave hidden behind a cluster of ferns. Eli peeked inside, discovering smooth walls that reflected the sunlight in a soft glow. "Look at this," he said. The alien floated forward, exploring the cave with gentle gestures. Its light touched the walls, revealing patterns etched in stone that neither of them had noticed before. Eli traced the shapes with his fingers, feeling a sense of connection to something ancient. The alien hovered above a small pool of water inside the cave. With a soft trill, it caused ripples that formed intricate, glowing designs on the surface. Eli watched in amazement as the designs changed and flowed like a story told without words. He realized that the alien could communicate in ways humans had not yet learned, through light, movement, and energy. Hours passed as they explored the cave together. Eli showed the alien how to identify minerals, while the alien revealed ways to sense the hidden life in the walls and water. Each discovery was a lesson, a small insight into the beauty and complexity of the world. Eli felt a growing respect for the alien and for the universe itself. There was so much to learn, and yet he felt that even a lifetime would not be enough to understand it all. When they emerged from the cave, the sun was beginning to dip toward the horizon. The forest glowed in warm shades of orange and gold. Eli and the alien sat on a large rock, watching the shadows stretch across the trees. "You know," Eli said softly, "I never imagined I would meet someone like you. Someone who can teach me so much without words." The alien responded with a gentle wave of light, confirming his thought. As the stars began to appear, Eli pointed to the first few shining points in the sky. The alien's glow mirrored them, forming constellations that seemed to tell stories of distant planets and civilizations. Eli marveled at the display. He felt a thrill of excitement and wonder. The universe was far larger and more mysterious than he had ever imagined, and this alien had given him a glimpse into it. They spent the night under the stars, sharing quiet moments. Eli reflected on how much he had learned in just a few days. The alien had shown him patience, curiosity, and the joy of discovery. It had taught him that understanding does not always require words, that connection can exist through shared experience, and that life, no matter where it comes from, is full of beauty and wonder. At one point, Eli reached into his pack and pulled out a small notebook. He began to sketch the patterns the alien had created, the shapes in the cave, and the glowing constellations above. The alien watched, fascinated, and sometimes added its own glowing lines to the sketches. Eli laughed softly. "We're making art together," he said. The alien's response was a soft trill and a brief display of bright lights like a signature. As midnight approached, Eli lay back on the soft grass, staring at the sky. The alien settled beside him, its glow dimming slightly in the darkness. Eli felt a profound sense of gratitude. This being from a place beyond his understanding had entered his life unexpectedly and changed everything. He realized that friendship, curiosity, and shared wonder were powerful forces, forces that could bridge any gap, even between species. He thought about the stars, the distant worlds the alien had shown him, and the lessons he had learned. Humans often believed they were unique, but now he understood that intelligence, creativity, and the desire to connect were universal. Every living being had something to teach, and every connection was a chance to grow. Eli felt a quiet joy, knowing that he had found a companion who would continue to guide him, challenge him, and inspire him. The alien was not just a teacher or a friend. It was a window into the vast possibilities of the universe. He closed his eyes for a moment, letting the sounds of the forest, the water, and the soft trill of the alien fill his mind. When he opened them, the alien had created a small display of light in the shape of a rising sun. Eli smiled. "Tomorrow we will explore even more," he said softly. The alien's glow pulsed in agreement, a silent promise of adventure and learning. Eli realized that the wilderness was no longer just a place to be alone. It was a world full of stories, mysteries, and connections waiting to be discovered. And the alien, so mysterious and wise, was his guide in this journey. Together, they would uncover secrets of the forest, the stars, and perhaps even themselves. As sleep approached, Eli felt a sense of wonder he had never known. He understood that this friendship was rare and precious. The alien had shown him that life was not just about surviving or existing. It was about seeing, understanding, and connecting. He drifted into sleep under the glowing stars, ready for another day of discovery, laughter, and shared adventures. And as the night deepened, the alien's soft light pulsed gently, a steady presence beside him. The forest, the stream, the stars, and the alien formed a harmonious symphony of life, and Eli knew he had become part of something far larger and more beautiful than he had ever imagined. Tomorrow would bring new wonders, new lessons, and new moments of connection. And for the first time, Eli understood that even in a vast universe, one small act of curiosity and kindness could create a bond that changed everything. The next morning, Eli woke to the sound of birds singing in the trees. Sunlight spilled over the forest floor, warming the damp earth. He stretched and glanced around. The alien was already awake, hovering a few feet above the mossy ground, its soft glow casting gentle light on the rocks and plants. Eli smiled. Each day, the alien seemed more comfortable in the forest and more curious about him. "Ready for another day?" Eli asked. The alien responded with a soft trill and a gentle pulse of light, which Eli had come to recognize as its way of saying, "Yes." Today, he wanted to explore a part of the forest he had never reached before. It was a place he had only seen from a distance, a dense area of trees and vines where sunlight barely touched the ground. As they moved deeper into the forest, the alien followed closely, mimicking Eli's movements and sometimes floating just above the ground in a way that was both graceful and silent. Eli pointed out small animals darting through the underbrush, explaining their habits and behaviors. The alien watched carefully, its glowing patterns reflecting excitement and curiosity. Eli realized that even though it did not speak human words, it understood his intentions and thoughts perfectly. Suddenly, the sky darkened. Clouds gathered quickly and the wind picked up. Eli paused, feeling the change in the air. He glanced at the alien, which hovered nervously, its glow flickering slightly. A storm was approaching, faster than he had expected. Eli's heart quickened, but he forced himself to stay calm. "We need to find shelter," he said. The alien made a soft, trilling sound, as if agreeing, and followed him closely. They moved quickly through the thick forest, stepping over roots and around fallen logs. Eli scanned the area for a place to hide from the rain. Up ahead, he saw a small rock overhang, just large enough for both of them. They ran toward it, the wind whipping their hair and the alien's glow reflecting in the darkening forest. Once beneath the overhang, Eli set down his pack and turned to the alien. "Looks like this is our spot," he said. The alien floated beside him, pulsing softly, almost as if it understood the relief he felt. The rain began to fall in heavy sheets, drumming against the rocks and leaves. Eli and the alien sat close together under the overhang, watching the water cascade down. Eli's thoughts turned to how fragile humans were compared to the forest, yet he felt a strange strength in the presence of the alien. It had faced the forest countless times before, and now it was here, sharing this moment with him. Eli reached into his pack and pulled out some dried fruit. He offered it to the alien. This time the alien accepted it, holding it carefully in its glowing hands and sending small pulses of light that Eli took as gratitude. He laughed softly. "You're learning to enjoy human food a little," he said. The alien responded with a musical trill that made Eli smile. Even in the storm, there was joy. As the rain continued, Eli and the alien began to communicate in a new way. Eli would make a gesture, and the alien would respond with a glowing pattern. Sometimes, Eli would describe something he had seen in the forest, and the alien would respond by forming a similar pattern in the air. Words were unnecessary. They understood each other through gestures, light, and shared observation. After a while, the rain lessened to a gentle drizzle. Eli looked out at the forest. Everything was glistening, leaves heavy with water, small streams forming in the soil. The forest felt alive in a new way, vibrant and powerful. He turned to the alien. "It's amazing, isn't it? How the rain can change everything." The alien tilted its head and made a soft trill, then extended its hand toward the forest. Light spread from its fingers, illuminating raindrops on leaves and reflecting in tiny puddles. Eli watched, captivated by the display. The storm forced them to slow down, but it also deepened their connection. Working together to find shelter, sharing food, and communicating in new ways made Eli feel that their friendship was stronger than ever. He realized that challenges, even small ones like a sudden storm, could teach lessons about patience, trust, and cooperation. Once the rain stopped, Eli and the alien ventured out again. The forest smelled fresh, earthy, and alive. Sunlight broke through the clouds, creating shafts of light that sparkled on the wet leaves. Eli led the alien along a narrow path, showing it small flowers, streams, and animals that had emerged after the rain. Each discovery was met with a trill or a flash of light from the alien, and Eli felt a deep sense of wonder. They soon reached a small clearing where sunlight streamed in freely. Eli sat down on a rock, and the alien joined him. They watched a family of deer move gracefully through the clearing, their hooves silent on the soft ground. Eli whispered, "Everything has a rhythm. Life moves in its own way." The alien responded with a pattern of glowing waves that seemed to echo his words. Eli realized that he was learning not just from the alien, but from the forest itself. After a quiet moment, Eli decided to show the alien something special. He pulled a small notebook from his pack and began to sketch the patterns the alien had created with its light. The alien hovered above, adding glowing touches to the sketches with its fingers, creating shapes that shimmered and moved. Eli laughed softly. "We're making our own stories," he said. The alien made a musical trill, as if agreeing. The afternoon passed quickly. Eli and the alien explored a nearby stream, watching fish swim and noticing tiny insects gliding on the water's surface. The alien demonstrated a new skill. It could sense subtle vibrations in the water, showing Eli the movement of each small creature. Eli was amazed at the level of perception and understanding the alien possessed. He felt both humbled and inspired. As the sun began to lower in the sky, Eli and the alien returned to their favorite rock near the stream. They sat together, watching as the forest transformed in the warm glow of evening. Eli pulled out some bread and cheese and offered it to the alien once more. It accepted the offering with a small nod, sending gentle pulses of light that lit up the surrounding area like tiny stars. The alien then did something new. It extended its hands and created a small display of glowing patterns in the air, forming shapes that looked like mountains, rivers, and forests. Eli realized it was telling a story, perhaps of its own world or of the forest they had explored. He watched, fascinated, as the patterns shifted, intertwined, and danced above their heads. "You're sharing your story," he said softly. The alien made a low, melodic trill, confirming his thought. Night fell and the stars appeared in the sky. Eli lay back on the rock, looking up at the constellations. The alien floated above him, forming patterns that mirrored the stars and even created new constellations of light. Eli felt a sense of connection not only to the alien, but to the universe itself. He realized that learning, friendship, and understanding could take many forms, and that he was lucky to experience them in such a unique way. As the night deepened, Eli and the alien rested together. He reflected on the day, the storm, the exploration, and the shared stories. He realized that challenges like the sudden storm could bring people or beings closer together. Trust, patience, and cooperation were more important than words, and kindness and curiosity could bridge any gap. Eli reached over and touched the alien's hand gently. The alien responded with a soft pulse of light. In that moment, Eli understood something profound. Friendship and understanding were universal. No matter the differences in form, language, or origin, beings could connect through shared experiences, empathy, and care. He drifted into sleep under the stars, comforted by the soft glow of the alien beside him and the gentle sounds of the forest. Tomorrow would bring new adventures, new discoveries, and new lessons. And Eli knew that whatever challenges came, he and the alien would face them together. For the first time, Eli realized that the wilderness was not just a place to be alone or to escape. It was a place full of life, learning, and connection. The alien had shown him that even in the vast universe, friendship and understanding could create light in unexpected places. And that light, he understood, was a force more powerful than any obstacle. The morning sun rose slowly over the forest, casting warm golden light across the trees and streams. Eli woke to the soft hum of life around him, birds chirping, leaves rustling, and the gentle ripple of the stream nearby. The alien was already awake, floating lightly above the mossy ground, its soft glow pulsing gently in response to the light. Eli stretched and felt a sense of anticipation. Today felt special. Somehow he knew it would be a day of discovery unlike any other. "Good morning," he said softly. The alien responded with a melodic trill and a slow wave of light that Eli had learned meant greeting. They had spent many days together now, learning, exploring, and sharing silent stories through gestures, glowing patterns, and small sounds. Each day, their bond had grown stronger, and Eli realized that this friendship had changed him. He no longer saw the world only as a place to explore. He saw it as a living, breathing story full of wonder, waiting to be understood. They began their morning journey by following the stream deeper into the forest. The water was clear, reflecting the sunlight in sparkling patterns. Eli pointed out small creatures moving along the banks, frogs, insects, and fish, explaining their behavior to the alien. The alien observed carefully, its glowing patterns shifting with curiosity. It sometimes hovered above the water, sensing movement Eli could not detect. He was amazed at how attuned the alien was to every living thing around them. As they moved further, they reached a grove filled with flowers of many colors, some bright as the sun, others soft as a cloud. Eli knelt and touched a few, inhaling their fragrance. "Isn't it amazing how each plant is unique?" he asked. The alien responded by creating gentle pulses of light that spread across the flowers, highlighting their shapes and colors in ways Eli had never noticed. He smiled, realizing that the alien's way of seeing the world revealed beauty he would have otherwise overlooked. They wandered through the grove, and the alien guided Eli to a small hidden pond. The water was still and mirrored the sky above. Eli knelt by the edge, dipping his fingers into the cool liquid. The alien hovered above the pond, its hands creating ripples of light that danced on the surface. Shapes formed and shifted, fish, leaves, even distant stars, told without words. Eli felt a sense of awe he had never experienced before. He realized that life itself was like the ripples in the pond, connected, ever-changing, and full of stories waiting to be discovered. As the sun climbed higher, Eli and the alien climbed a small hill that overlooked the entire forest. From this vantage point, the canopy stretched endlessly, and the distant mountains rose like silent guardians. Eli took a deep breath. "I've never felt so alive," he admitted. The alien responded with a gentle trill and a wave of light that pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. Eli realized that he was not just alive in the physical sense. He was alive in understanding, in curiosity, and in connection. Eli then decided to share something personal. He told the alien about his life before he came to the forest, the busy city, the constant noise, the feeling that he was just one small part of a world too big to control. He explained how he had always longed for moments like this, where he could feel connected to something greater, yet never expected to find it with a being so different from himself. The alien listened, its glow brightening softly as if acknowledging his feelings. Eli felt understood in a way that no human had ever understood him. After a short rest, Eli and the alien continued their exploration, moving toward a valley that Eli had never dared to enter before. The path was narrow and lined with rocks and vines, but the alien navigated it with ease, occasionally guiding Eli with gentle gestures and pulses of light. The forest seemed alive with energy, responding to their presence. Leaves swayed as if bowing to them, and tiny lights flickered in the shadows like distant stars. As they reached the valley, Eli noticed something extraordinary. The ground was covered in flowers that glowed faintly in the sunlight, their colors shifting as the light touched them. The alien hovered above the flowers, creating patterns that mirrored their natural glow. Eli knelt and reached out to touch one, marveling at its softness and the way it seemed to pulse with life. "It's like the forest itself is alive," he whispered. The alien trilled, confirming his thought, and Eli felt a deep sense of connection not only to the alien but to the world around him. They spent the afternoon exploring the valley, discovering hidden streams, tiny waterfalls, and clusters of glowing mushrooms. The alien showed Eli how to sense the energy of each living thing, teaching him to observe and feel rather than just see. Eli felt a profound sense of understanding. He realized that life was more than just survival or movement. It was about noticing, connecting, and appreciating every small detail. As evening approached, Eli and the alien returned to their favorite rock near the stream. Eli unpacked his small meal, sharing pieces with the alien, who accepted them with small pulses of light and soft trills. They ate in silence, watching the forest bathe in the golden glow of sunset. Eli reflected on how much he had learned and how far he had grown since meeting the alien. He realized that curiosity, kindness, and understanding were powerful tools, capable of creating bonds stronger than any challenge. After eating, Eli looked at the sky. Stars began to appear, shining softly above the forest. The alien extended its hands, creating glowing patterns that mirrored the constellations, and then added new ones, weaving stories Eli could almost understand. He watched in wonder, realizing that the alien was sharing visions of distant worlds, life, and stories from far beyond Earth. Eli felt his imagination expand. The universe seemed limitless, full of potential, beauty, and endless possibilities. The night deepened, and Eli and the alien sat quietly under the stars. Eli reached out and touched the alien's hand gently. Its glow pulsed softly in response. For a moment, everything else faded, the forest, the stream, the distant mountains, and there was only connection, understanding, and friendship. Eli felt gratitude fill him. This being, from somewhere he could not even imagine, had changed his life in ways he could never have expected. He thought about humanity and its place in the universe. Humans were small, imperfect, and often unaware of the wonders around them. Yet they had a capacity for curiosity, creativity, and connection that could make them extraordinary. Seeing the alien's intelligence, empathy, and joy, Eli realized that humanity's greatest strength was not technology or power, but the ability to learn, to wonder, and to form bonds with others, even those who were different. The alien created a final display of light, forming patterns that resembled a sunrise, mountains, rivers, and forests all at once. Eli understood it as a gift, a reminder that life was interconnected and beautiful. He felt a profound sense of peace. He had come to the forest seeking solitude, but had discovered friendship, knowledge, and the infinite possibilities of life. As he lay back and gazed at the stars, Eli knew that their journey together was not ending, even if the alien might leave someday. The lessons he had learned, the patience, the curiosity, the respect for life, and the joy of connection would stay with him forever. He understood now that even small acts of kindness and understanding could create lasting bonds, no matter how different the beings involved. The alien hovered quietly beside him, its glow soft and steady. Eli smiled. "Thank you," he whispered. The alien responded with a gentle trill and a slow wave of light, as if to say, "And thank you." Together, they watched the stars, the forest, and the gentle ripples of the stream, sharing a quiet understanding that transcended words. Eventually, Eli drifted into sleep, feeling the warmth of friendship and the quiet wonder of the world around him. The alien stayed nearby, its soft glow a comforting presence. In his dreams, the stars, the forest, and the alien's light danced together, telling stories of distant worlds, endless discovery, and the beauty of connection. When Eli awoke the next morning, he felt renewed. The forest seemed brighter, the air fresher, and the stream clearer. The alien hovered near him, pulsing gently. Today, they would explore more, learn more, and continue the adventure that had begun the moment the alien had first murmured. "May I join you?" Eli smiled, knowing that the universe was full of wonders and that friendship, curiosity, and understanding made humanity remarkable in ways even he had only begun to grasp. Together, they stepped into the forest, ready for whatever discoveries awaited. And Eli understood that the wilderness, the stars, and the alien had taught him the greatest lesson of all. That life was not just about survival, but about connection, learning, and celebrating the wonders of the universe. And in that quiet, magical forest under the endless sky, Eli knew that he had found a friend, a teacher, and a reminder that humanity's capacity for curiosity, kindness, and understanding could shine brighter than any star.